For the best possible results, how far would you travel? Would you take an international flight to find a hospital that ranked among the very best in the world for the treatment of heart attacks? For the best possible results in 9 cardiac care measures, just how far would you go? St. Tammany Parish Hospital, world-class healthcare, close to home.
Welcome to Healthy Living, brought to you by St. Tammany Parish Hospital. I'm your host, Amanda Paxton. The St. Tammany Parish Hospital Parenting Center hosts a wide variety of educational and support classes for parents and children alike. These classes can range from breastfeeding support to boot camp for new dads to taming temper tantrums. Today I have social worker Renee Ridgely from the Parenting Center here to give us some of those tips and tricks and insight into developmental stages and taming temper tantrums. Welcome, Renee.
Good morning, Amanda.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Can you give us a little bit about your background first?
I have an undergrad degree in child and family studies. I have a master's degree in social work. I've been a social worker for maybe going on 9 years, and my specialty in social work is actually mental health.
Okay. So I guess first start with why parents should learn about developmental stages.
Well, the most important thing about learning about developmental stages of children is that they grow. And we want to know what they do in each stage. So one of the things is that you want to make sure that before you get angry that you understand at 2, they're going to cry. At 3, they're going to want to do everything by themselves. And at 4, they're going to talk to themselves. So you want to know each and everything so you don't panic and start crying and think you need help or a terrible parent.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what are some things that all parents should know about their child's development?
They are very unique. They are born with characteristics. They just grow and move, and you just want to make sure you're aware how unique your child is so you can give them what they need to survive and thrive in this world.
Okay. And so what are the primary areas of development?
Well, we have physical, and as you know, as they grow, they just get bigger, and you got to remember intellectual, the older the child gets, the more they're going to learn. And you also have language. As they grow older, they're going to talk more and learn languages. And the most important one is social and emotional development, which is where we have to give them the social and emotional skills that they need to thrive in the world.
Okay, can you give me maybe some examples of different social and emotional development, say from 2 to 4 or 2 to 5?
Well, at 2, they're really, 2 is difficult. They call 2s the terrible 2s because they're really busy. They're into all kinds of stuff. So some of the things is that they can't control their emotions. That's where your temper tantrums come from. At 3, they have this autonomy, but they don't share at 3. So, with emotionals and social environments, when we take them out, they're not going to make many friends because they're going to want the toy that they have and take it. So we got to give them the tools that they need to strive in the world, so we got to know where they're at. That's why ages and stages are very important.
Okay. So what should parents try to do during the social and emotional development stage so that the child can be successful?
Of course, all through life we go through social and emotional development, right. But from ages from ages like 1 to 2, you gotta love on them, give them the positive support that they're going to need. You want to make sure that you're very caring and understanding because they're going to break out, cry, they don't know what to do. They've only been here 1 through 5 years, so we got to give them the tools that they need so they'll be able in the future life, be able to control their emotions and able to socialize, go out and everybody don't think like, oh, he's not very nice, but we got to give them the tools that they need.
Okay, can you talk a little bit about the tools that they need?
Just basically you have to be the first role model that they see. So you want to be the person that they mock. So, your social skills, good morning, just manners, learning how not to scream when things go wrong, learning just to control yourself. So when they see you controlling yourself, they, don't know, well, maybe I shouldn't cry in public. Maybe I should just try to calm down first before I throw my teddy bear across the room. But again, 1 through 5, no patience.
Right.
None.
Right.
I have none.
So that's very important for parents to show a lot of patience when they deal with those children.
You are their first teacher. parents are their first teachers. So in order for them to grow, they have to learn from you, and you exemplify what they need.
Okay. So what advice could be given to a parent who's struggling with the terrible twos?
Wow. Well, terrible twos, they're very, very, very busy, very curious. They got things to do, basically. Like we go to work, they have things to do around the house. They have to hunt. You know, they're seeking out their environment, trying to get into everything. Terrible twos are terrible because they're basically, well, I would say, they're out of control. And we got to form them to how we want them to be. You know, we got to tell them, you know, no, we don't do this. No, we don't scream and yell at mommy. You know, we're just giving them discipline and structure. You want to give them discipline, structure. You want to give them choices, you know, so they could think they're in control, when in actuality, we're giving choices that we can handle, not them. You know, you just want to set a platform to understand that they are really busy. They are curious, they're in your stuff. You know, you got the little girl that go in the mommy purse and put on the lipstick. Yeah, because she wants to be mommy. She's seeing mommy do stuff. We say it's wrong, but to them, they're just doing what they see. Right. So again, we're their first role models.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess, can you talk a little bit more about how that structure and discipline is important, maybe at every stage of childhood?
You know, one of the things for me, I have a 6-year-old little guy, and you know, the structure comes in is where I have boundaries. And, you know, it's like, no, we don't holler and scream at each other. You know, you set rules in place, but you make those rules where attainable. You don't have expectations like he's automatically going to get that, you know, when I say no, he can challenge me back. My expectations is that I'm going to talk to him and tell him we don't do these things, but I do expect that you talk back to me. You know, you have to talk to them so they can learn. They never been here. They don't know. And the thing is, parenting does not come with a handbook. So it's like really good if parents like take parenting classes to know how to do it, not to get frustrated and be like, I'm a horrible parent. But it's just setting structure, boundaries. You know, if they got to go to bed for 8 o'clock, continue to make them go to bed for 8 o'clock. If you come home at 4 o'clock, you give them 5 o'clock to pull themselves together, and 6 o'clock it's time to do homework. Keep your structure, keep your boundaries. Children do very well with boundaries and structure.
Okay. I guess you mentioned that parents often can think that they're horrible parents because their kids, just because their kid's bad or does something wrong. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, definitely. One of the things is that our frustration come over us way more than parenting because we think it's supposed to be a certain way. There really is. This is your world, created, but do your best. You know right from wrong. Your insides will tell you right from wrong. And then if you don't understand, that's where the parenting center comes in at. That's where we're here to help you. You know, don't get frustrated. That's why it's so important to know ages and stages, because at certain ages and certain stages, they do stuff that we just don't understand. But if you know what goes on during this time, you won't get frustrated. You'll be like, okay, wait, I was supposed to do that. I'm gonna just go ahead on and let them grow, but also you be the captain of the ship.
Okay.
And stir the ship right.
Is there any other information you want to give about ages and stages?
There are certain theories and theories that you can look up, certain like Freud and Erickson, all these Piaget, they'll tell you like all the different stages that the child should be in. You know, like Erickson tells you like from ages 1 to 18, you know, if it's oral, if there should be social, just certain things that they should be. Freud does the oral and anal. It's just certain stages that a child should be in. And before they can move on, they have to master these stages. It's like crawling, then you walk. Then from walking, you talk. It's certain ages that these things are supposed to happen. But if you don't know that, and they're like 5 still crawling, something wrong.
Right.
You know, something is wrong. You know, if they're not talking at 5, they missed something. And that's where help come in at. So it's very important that you learn these ages and stages.
And so do y'all go over mostly the physical and social, or is it more the emotional, because most people already understand the physical stages the physical development that their children should be going through?
Well, what I'm learning, I've been at the parenting center maybe 2 years, almost 2 years now, and I'm learning as I teach parenting classes, the questions that come up basically deals with ages and stages. So I decided that we're going to start teaching ages and stages. Like, so in July, our first class for ages and stages is in July. And I like, it's not just about emotions, it's about the development of the brain. And if they know, like, our brains really never stop developing until 25. So we're always growing and learning. And so, at 1 and at 2, if they're not doing the certain things that need to be happening, parents are like, something wrong with my child, something wrong with me, I'm not doing it right. When in actuality, something might be wrong, or basically, you might need to get them out and come socialize at the parenting center so they can learn how to talk or learn how to play with other kids. It's just us getting them interactive. Our biggest teacher are other people and ourselves to our children.
Right.
So it's very important that we teach ages and stages. Emotions comes, at 2 they get their emotions. That's 3, they still doing the autonomy. Kind of like I'm learning, like from my own child at 6, they kind of start making better choices instead of getting up and walking out the class.
Gotcha.
He start making better choices. I don't think I should go out there. And Kenny, in the beginning he just walk out. I gotta use the bathroom.
Right.
It's like, and it's like, no, you have to, it's rules at school, so it's very important that we set rules so they can know how to follow rules.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
No problem.
Up next, we'll be back with Renee to talk a little bit about taming temper tantrums.
When it comes to your family's health, you want the best. That's exactly why St. Tammany Parish Hospital and Ochsner are now working together. By uniting 2 of the highest quality healthcare organizations in the state, we can bring everyone in St. Tammany Parish a higher level of specialty care with advanced procedures and the most advanced technology. Because when your healthcare is better, so's your life.
Welcome back to Healthy Living, brought to you by St. Tammany Parish Hospital. We're back with our guest Renee Ridgely, a social worker from St. Tammany Parish Hospital Parenting Center, to give us a little details about taming temper tantrums. Welcome back, Renee.
Hey.
So I guess let's start with, what are some steps that parents can use to handle the terrible 2 temper tantrums?
Well, one of the things the first thing you need to do is just stay calm. While they're frustrated, it doesn't help if you get frustrated trying to control them to stop. You also want to talk gently to them. At that time, they really can't hear you anyway because they're extremely frustrated and they're hollering, screaming, crying all over the floor. Most of the time they just break down. You want to step away. Give them their space, because when you come close to them, it makes them just even more enraged because they're already angry. There's really much you can't do during a temper tantrum, but for yourself, you just want to stay calm, be gentle. And one of the things I always say is, like, do not interfere with a temper tantrum. If you have to walk over them, step out the room, get any items out the way that they might hit their head on, because it gets that serious. Sometimes they just really be that angry. And sometimes it's just simple stuff. I can give an example. Kendrick and I go to the grocery store. He wants Doritos. I'm like, we'll go back down that aisle. I don't go back down the aisle. It's a haul down out, pass out, crying, can't breathe. And I just walk over him and I just keep on grocery shopping. One lady stopped and was like, you left your son? I said, he gonna come, because after a while, when they realized that, they calmed down and regroup, that, I gotta find my mama, I need some love. So you just let them get it out their system, walk on about their way, but you stay calm, because if you get angry, it's 2 angry people. And the one that's you can't comprehend because you want them to stop, and they're like, I ain't stopping. It becomes a power struggle.
So even in public, you think people should just let them have the temper tantrum?
Walk on. Everybody been through it. I promise you. Everybody been through it. You might have a stranger stop and say, what's wrong, little boy or little girl? And that little boy probably be like, get away from me. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Right.
Just leave him alone.
Right. So I guess, what should be done if the child is in danger to themselves or others while they're having their temper tantrum?
I am known for kind of moving things out the way, because sometimes it gets so bad to where they hit their head on something because they can't see. They are enraged. They're angry. Sometimes if I think he's going to hurt himself or the child, you can hold him firmly, just hold him firmly or gently give him a hug just to make sure that they don't hurt themselves. Otherwise, if they're not in danger, let them get it all out. The frustration is real. We may think it's not real, but little babies have feelings. They have feelings just like us. And sometimes at 2, they're learning how to talk. They can't communicate what they need. So they get frustrated because 1, you can't understand what they need. 2, it's really important that they get their Doritos and you done pass that all up, and 3, they're just at that stage where they don't have patience. Their frustration is very high. So if they feel like they got to just wild out, let them wild out. Make sure they don't hurt themselves. So.
Okay, so during the tantrum, they shouldn't try to console them or talk to them or hug them?
You're making it worse.
Making it worse.
They can't hear you. Think about when you're angry and somebody try to come talk to you. You think you're going to listen to what they said? No, it's going to go clean over your head because you're angry. Right. You're frustrated. And especially if the person that did you something come and try to talk to you, it's not happening at that time. Right. So just imagine a 2-year-old, they're mad. They have feelings.
Okay. I guess, should parents try to talk to them after the fact, like once they've calmed down?
Let them calm down first. I advise you. Let them calm down first, or you're going to be angry because your feelings are going to get involved. Talk to them gently after. Wait till they are coming to you. Let them open the door. Now I say don't go too far away where they don't see you. But, you stay right, you stay in the area where you can see what's going on, and when you see a window that they're calming down, you can either gently open up your arms, and I promise you, they're going to run to your arms because they need shelter. They've been out of control. They're coming back to normal. They want regular again. So then you ask, what upset you? What made you so angry like that? They probably be like, I don't know. I don't know. In the other end, it's like, just wanted Doritos, And that's when you, well, that's a way you can talk to mommy. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you the first time, but you talk. That's when you not rationalize with them, but try to educate them how to express their emotions properly.
Okay. I guess we talked mostly about the terrible twos, but how, I guess, is there a point or a certain age where they should not be having temper tantrums anymore, and that that's when you should maybe treat it a little differently?
I have temper tantrums. They don't stop. No.
But like on the floor, in public, those kind of things. In public most of the time. It all depends on your boundaries and rules. It all depends on your relationship with your child. I'm saying like age 4 and 5, there should be no more outbursts in the stores. Maybe at the house because, you've taught them how to behave in public. Maybe at the house, I can say Kendrick is 6. When we went to the lazy river, he had a breakdown. And I was like, you want to go sit inside and talk? And he was like, yeah, let's go talk. Because he was like, I just don't want to get in the water, So it's certain things that may trigger temper tantrum, and that's when you learn your child. However, I say by age 4 or 5, it should be like minimalism, maybe one out the year, in public. At home, it's going to be 17. Right.
Because that's their comfort zone,
right.
And they can be like, Ma, then you don't come when they want, but then you still teach them appropriately how to talk to you, how to address the situation. Social and emotional development lasts for a while, even especially through teenager years.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we up and down, puberty and everything. So, between 4 and 5, you're trying to get a handle on it. But the main handle you want to get is in public, because we can say what we want, but we don't want to be embarrassed.
Right.
We don't want that negative stare at your child. We do care, and that's when rules and behavior management comes into play with tantrums.
Right, and I think that's probably a big part of it, is that parents try to stop the temper tantrum because they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to feel judged by other parents, but at the same time, they should just let it go, and it would probably calm down much quicker.
And one of the things parents have to realize is that when you say you're going to do something, you need to do it. Okay. Stick to what you're going to do. Do not be inconsistent. The moment you become inconsistent is how we lose power. If you tell your child in the car, when we get out to go to the grocery store and you misbehave, we are leaving. You need to, as soon as they misbehave, I know you on a time schedule. I know you got to get those groceries because you're there. leave that buggy right there, grab so-and-so by the hand, and you go in that car and you go back home. Because then they'll know, I'm not going to misbehave in the grocery store no more. She is not playing.
Right. So
You know.
people need to stick to what you
You need to
say.
stick to it.
So either don't say it if you're not
If you're
going to do
not
it.
going to do it.
Okay.
And I'm guilty. I'm
sure.
I'm guilty. But sometimes I've did it before. Let's go. I mean, and no, give me one more chance. Sorry. You messed up, but sometimes I am guilty because we be too far out.
Right.
And I won't go home, but stick to
Right,
your
right,
plan.
but yeah.
Stick to. You have to stick to it. You have, because I lose power like that. You have to stick to it.
Oh yeah, I think that's very important. I feel like that's something that a lot of parents struggle with.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, or they say things too big,
Yeah.
I'm going to take something away from you, but it's something that they clearly cannot.
And that's why it's important that when you give choices, or either or, if and when, whenever you do those choices, you have to make sure you can handle the choices, not the child. It's like you gonna wear the red shirt or the blue shirt when you have to be fine with if they pick red or blue. If you don't want them to wear the blue, don't put it in the pot.
Okay.
Just make sure you can handle the choices. If you say you're gonna leave that store, that should be one of the choices. I'm big on, if you don't behave in this store, when we finish, we're not going to Toys R Us. I have to give choices that I can handle. Because if I'm at that store, it's a reason. And I don't have time to play, So it's one of those things where I have to make sure that I give choices that I can handle.
Okay, I think that's very important, because
Yeah.
to say that you're going to leave the store, some parents are not okay
It's
with
just
leaving
not,
the store. It's not realistic.
It's not realistic, but
Right.
make sure you can handle it. It's like, but don't be so extravagant. Like, if you misbehave, you can't go to John party Saturday. Come Saturday, he's going to John party.
Right.
When he was, you have to give immediate consequences. 'Cause
Right.
When Saturday come, the child done probably forgot that they were so bad in the store, and
Right.
then Saturday come. Well, what I did that I can't go to John party. I've been good all day.
Right.
So you have to, give consequences, appropriate consequences at the time.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of parents saying,
Yeah.
if you do this, we're not going to go to Disney World.
Right. Oh, I'm big
And
with
you
that.
know, and you know that they've already paid for Disney World,
Right.
so they're definitely not
You're
going
going
to
to
cancel the trip.
Exactly.
So that's things you should avoid.
Don't be extravagant. If you're going to make a choice, simplicity works, especially for yourself. Don't do nothing that's going to hurt you. At the end of the day, don't do anything that's going to hurt you, where it's like, well, we can't go nowhere Saturday because he punished. It's like,
Right. Okay, so I guess lastly, can you tell us what's the one thing that a parent should never do during or after a temper tantrum?
Never reward the behavior. Do not give in to the demands. If they're crying and screaming for Doritos, it's like, it's simple just to get the Doritos to shut them up, but it's the way they behave that you want to correct. So you want them to learn how to use their voice, and you want them to learn to talk to you instead of falling out and crying. So don't give in to demands. Don't reward the behavior, because if you reward the behavior, you're going to have a temper tantrum every day.
Right.
Every day you're going to experience a temper tantrum because you're giving into their demands.
Right, so they know that they know it works.
Right. They know if I be very, misbehave all the time, she's going to give me what I want. When in actuality, it's not helping the process. So they're going to go to school and misbehave for scissors, glue, be first in line, and they're always going to get put out of school for misbehaving.
Right,
Don't give in to demands. Teach them early so they can know how to control their emotions.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate all
welcome.
of that excellent information.
You're welcome.
I would like to thank Renee Ridgely, social worker from the St. Tammany Parish Hospital Parenting Center, for being here with us today and sharing these great parenting tips that all parents should know. This has been Healthy Living, brought to you by St. Tammany Parish Hospital. I'm your host, Amanda Paxton, and we'll see you next time.